Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to askNK. Today we are looking at an amazing tool known as Storm. So just in case you are interested in making simulations, maybe you just want to start playing with volume and you just don't know how to get started, and probably Houdini seems to be like, you know, the high-rise building that you don't want to climb right now. This tool will definitely save you some time. So I was walking around the internet one of those days sometime last week and I came across this tool called Storm. So Storm is called the simulation tool and it seems to be made available by a couple of artists, but Sebastian seems to be the person in charge of it. So what will happen today is we're going to take a look at Storm. Right now you can already see that I have some simulation going on. All right, it's quite crazy, and you know the way this performs is pretty fast. So it's very interesting to see that this tool is right here, and I did get the trial version, which is what I'm going to use to talk about how interesting this tool looks, and you can also get the trial version yourself. So every other thing is applicable to the trial version except the fact that you cannot export. But for learning purposes, I think this is very, very interesting. So once you get the software, you would notice that the UI looks very blank. But then that's where the strength of the tool is. The fact that you can just simply whip it up and start dealing with things and not even bother about unnecessary menus just simply makes this interesting. The navigation is very Maya-like. Alt, right mouse button, click and drag to zoom in, zoom out, and Alt, left mouse button to orbit, Alt, middle mouse button to pan. Okay, that out of the way, how you can get started is very simple. It also has a note section, so just in case you want to bring in some stuff, you can just type in the word read and automatically you have something there. And meanwhile, while we're looking at this, let's talk about the controls. So for you to actually start moving things, if you press W on your keyboard, move, E for rotate, and also R for scale. Also very Maya-like. So what happens here? What happens here is very simple. If you like to play with this part, if you turn this off, you're simply making the node invisible. If you turn it on, then that node becomes visible. But it makes a lot of sense when you start looking at the simulation. So let's actually take a look at the simulation. How do you simulate? Because that's like the bread and butter of this tool. How you can simulate here is extremely easy, okay? So what you need to do is go over to add object, and then you can add a granular system. All right, so we just want to add a granular particle system, and then we can add a source. And that's it. Press W on your keyboard, move this all the way up, press your spacebar or click on the sim button. It looks too tiny, but once you do that, you see automatically, you see how fast this is. This is just simply fast, okay? It's extremely fast. And you want to make something even way cleaner. Once you're done, or once you just get to where you're going, you can pause it, you can stop it, you can reset it. But once you select this and go back to tools and click on add mesh, automatically it becomes a mesh. And that is exactly how easy it is. So at this point, you have this as a mesh. And if you want to write this out, you can just simply press your tab key and write. And as simple as that, connect your node to this and you are ready to go. You can now write this out and into something else, but we cannot write this out because, you know, this is more like a trial version. It's actually a trial version, so we can write this out. So hopefully we might get our hands on the full version and try these things. But this is not all you can do with it, okay? You can do almost everything that you think about nodes, not in terms of modeling, but in terms of simulation. Almost everything you think about nodes, you can literally do this here. So let's reset this one more time, set this all the way back. Let's delete that. Let's go all the way up and get rid of this and take a look at some of the nodes. All right, so if you press your tab key and you simply type the word read, you can bring something up. And the same thing happens, you can also get some transforms. So we can bring one transform here, we can Ctrl C, Ctrl V, make a copy and paste, and we can link these two up, okay? So once you link these two up, you can also click here to make that node visible. So unlike several tools where you need the merge node to make things visible, right here, once you select, you can simply make that node visible, and you can see our read node is also visible, so we can turn that off. If we want to see this other one, we can select that and turn that on, and that is how, you know, that's how pretty easy it is. Next thing which we might want to do is to convert the mesh to volume. So just in case you want to convert mesh to volume, and by the way, this has some very nice fuzzy setching, and this is the kind of fuzzy setching I would love to see in Blender. So the same kind you have in Houdini, that's what you have. So if you just type the main keyword, so mesh to volume, that's it. It's as simple as that. Press your enter key, you have that there. Copy paste, you have this. You can connect one here, and then you can connect the other one right here. So cool. All right, so cool. So you want to preview that? Cool. Turn this off. You want to preview this? Cool. Turn this off. Very, very lovely. Next thing you might want to do is to probably make some boolean and stuff like that. Okay, so for that you can also bring the volume difference, and you can see how easy it is to search. VD, you get your volume difference, you drop that here, connect the first one here, connect the second one here, turn this off if you don't want to see that, turn this on if you want to see that, and you can also do the same thing. So I just want to be able to see this one, select this object, and I want to move this in. Okay, so what I want to do is to get some volume difference. So you can now see that with this we can actually start doing some boolean. So for those who would want to do booleans and stuff like that, you want to boolean a VDB, okay, you can now do these things with ease, and it just doesn't even stop here. Imagine you trying to convert your volume to mesh, something that was just recently implemented in Blender. You now have that opportunity to do that. So the same way for the searching, we can just convert this from volume to mesh, and that is also how simple. So connect this right here, turn this off, turn this back on, and that is it. So anything you do from here automatically applies. Now there are some things I would like to also share with you guys, which doesn't really cut it for me in terms of animation. Okay, so you can animate if you want to, but then there is a different sort of, there's a different set of idea behind how the animation works, and I'm going to explain that. Meanwhile, if you already have something like this and you would like to scatter things to points, you want to do some stuff like that, let's do that again. Mesh to volume. So we would grab that right here, connect this, turn this on. We have that. Let's get that scatter tool one more time, and we can run this through. And once we run this, you notice we have that scatter right there. So at this point, if you want to scatter stuff around it, you can. So there is some very interesting things you also need to know. Once you're reading a file, okay, once you're reading a file like this one, if you click on the file part, you can choose to load up something totally different, and you can actually reference several things. And for the most part, this tool also comes with a couple of geometry nodes that you can use. So just in case you want to switch this to box, you want to switch it to cylinder, you want to switch it to something, yes you can. So we can also come here and say we want a read node, and with this read node, instead of having this as a box, what we can do is we can double click, and right here, because I don't want to go in and start typing the entire URL, right here I can, let's double click that one more time. Cone looks good, so we can get a cone, and we have a cone OBJ. Now next thing which I would like to do is do a simple transform this bad boy, connect this one right here, connect this right here, and now we have a uniform scale which I can set to 0.0, let's go with 0.3 and get that there. That looks a bit too much, so 0.03, drop that one down there. And because we already have a scatter, I can bring a copy node, and we can use the copy node to simply copy to several points. So this, if you hover around, it tells you what to impute. So right here we can choose to impute points which we intend to scatter things from, and right here we can now directly impute the geometry that we want to scatter. Click on this object, turn this off, and right there you notice that you have scattered all this however you want. So this is a very, very good one. You might be wondering, what about simulation for smoke? How do you do that animation that you talked about earlier? All right, I'll show you. So because this is node based, so it simply means you can do tons and tons of stuff by simply using the node. Okay, so it's very, very intuitive and really nice. So I can choose to use the same node, and I can drag that transform one more time. So let's go grab that transform, and let's make sure that nothing is visible except this one. Okay, and I can bring in some stuff. Remember the first time that we converted our mesh to volume? We're going to do that same thing again, and the reason why we're converting our mesh to volume at this point is because we want to create a volume, and we want that to simulate through this. So one of the things which you can do is to try out a smoke emission. So we can dive directly there and type SMKE, and because it's very cool prefix matching, we can get a smoke emit. You can see there's a couple of them. There's a smoke emit, there's this other smoke emit. So we're just going to get this one right here and connect that right there. Then we would also need to get an origin because the smoke needs to start from somewhere. So SMKO, you know, very nice. So you can also get that because we're dealing with this one. Connect this one right over here, and then we can finally get one cool one, which is going to be the solver. So we can get SS Olva, you know, and we have that smoke solver. And at the same time, if you would like to oppress your simulation, there is a couple of oppressings that you can do. So you can oppress the solver, you can also oppress the entire thing as well. So with this now, we can link this right here, and let's take a look at what we have here. You can now see that we have some points that it's going to emit stuff from. Click right over here. You also notice that we have some cool things happening. You don't get to see anything happening, obviously, unless we hit on simulate. And once we hit on simulate, because this is pretty fast, you can now start noticing that it is simulating downwards. Okay, so right now you can see that we have the simulation happening, and this is very nice. So let's stop this. What if you would like to get some heat? Because you notice that once we click out, we don't see heat, we don't see anything happening. What we can do, if we select the object like so, we can go over to the heat section and we can simply throw in some heat. So we can see 0.5. So we just want to leave these things the way they are. And you remember, once we hit the simulate button, you know, this is simulating downwards, all right? But that's not the direction we want. What we're going to do is hit the reset button and then go over to the emit, because this is where the emission comes from. So we'll go over to the emit right now, and we will change this to something like 0.5. So exactly that same value, we're just going to go back and change that up there at 0.5. Now if we hit the simulation button, this will emit upwards, and this is, you know, this is pretty nice. It looks really cool, reminds me a lot about EMBERGEN. And for those who haven't seen EMBERGEN, link is going to be in the description, where you can see that amazing real-time, you know, simulation tool as well. So this one makes so much sense to me. You can still see that our frames are still very cool, doesn't seem to be dropping anytime soon, and we are getting some very good visual feedback right here. Now let's take a look at something else. So now that we've looked at, you know, how you can create some simulations for both meshing object and also flames, let's take a look at something else. I'm just going to go ahead and pause this, reset that, and then click on file, grab a brand new one. And by the way, if you want to test out some of the demos, they have tons and tons of demos right here, which you can also play with. So for example, if you need things like wind, let's zoom all the way out and hit the simulation button. You can see that there is a couple of wind stuff. So you might probably not even want to make these things yourself. You can just go through, pick up some of the random stuff that they have made and tweak them to your liking and proceed with that. They have some other ones, so let's look at those real quick. So they have some other ones like this other one. Let's take a look at wet sand, or maybe we can take a splash. Let's take a look at splash, and let's simulate this so that you can see that. So you can see that happening. By default, in most apps, this simulation will take like forever. Okay, so I'm actually giving the developers a huge shout out, because this is pretty cool, and of course it just makes sense. And this ain't no sponsored video, just in case you guys are wondering. And I just wish a lot of people get to see how beautiful this is, especially those who would like to get into, you know, VFX or maybe into simulation, and you don't really have all that patience to learn Houdini. So let's pause this and let's reset that, and let's take a look at something else. Go over to file, get a brand new scene, and then we will look at one more thing before we go. Now what we want to do is technically the same thing that we've done before. So throw in a very simple, and by the way, you can also play with all of this the same way I'm working with this one. So I'm just going to throw that in, throw in a brand new source, select that source, press W on the keyboard, raise the source all the way up, click and add a collider, because we haven't talked about that. Add a simple collider, and now that you have that collider, if you press your simulation button, you notice that it collides. Okay, it collides really quick. You could see that simulation is really quick. It starts slowing down a little bit, but we're still getting good frames as it travels. Okay, so let's pause that, let's reset, let's talk about animating. So how do you animate here? Animating here is a little bit tricky. It's actually something that most people will find a bit jagged. Okay, so animating is as simple as selecting the object. All right, make sure you know the direction you want to animate from, because what you need to do is you need to define the frame. So if I want something at frame 1, I need to enter the key that I need. So if I need this at 0, 0, no movement on this frame, you need to define that. Then you need to go over to the next frame that you need. Probably for our case, our next frame could be maybe frame 6. And then you need to also define, let's get that right. You need to also define what you need. Maybe I need it at, let's say 45. We want it to rotate at 45. And then I could go over to say frame 12, for example. And then we need to also define this at 90. Let's get this at 90. That was really fast. Okay, so once you're done, you need to hit the enter key to establish that, and that is how you create your keyframes. So automatically you would notice you have 1, 2, 3 frames here. So once you hit on play, and by the way, this has a bit of a bug. Once it's not playing, it still tells you that it's paused, and I know, you know, it's supposed to just simply say pause and play. All right, so sometimes once it's not playing, it tells you it's paused. And this is just some simple, you know, bugs that can be fixed. So this way you now have your animation happening. All right, so once you hit on simulation, you have that happening, but that happens really fast. I mean, you don't see the interaction. So how can you change this? How you can change this is as complex as it gets. Okay, you have to go back and either delete the node or, you know, delete the stuff and decide to redo it again. But I couldn't really find any proper documentation on how you can delete any of this stuff. It's either I missed the documentation or there's no proper documentation about that. But this is basically how you get it going. So let's actually select this and bring it a bit closer so that the simulation gets to work faster. Okay, that wasn't even fast enough. Let's pause that, reset that, move that just about that point, maybe just about this point. Okay, and let's hit that simulation one more time. Okay, so that wasn't even fast enough. So you can still move this during your simulation time and achieve what you want. So if you want to simply maybe put some cream on bread, if that's the simulation you're trying to make, you can do that. And once you're done, pause. Okay, and then just go over, make sure you have the object selected, go over to where you have your tools, and then mesh. So there are lots and lots of things that you can do with this tool, and I'm only just scratching the surface of things that are possible. So for those who would like to try this, you can also proceed to take a look at it and see how you can get started with it. And also one more thing before we leave is the main source, which is this one that you're using to generate all of this, which is this particular source. You can also change it. So whenever you hold down shift and right click, if there are multiple options, you'll be able to see through those. And that is, you know, that is some of the very cool things that you get to deal with when you're playing with this tool. So if you go over to the source type, right click, you'll notice you can either get this out by mesh or by volume, and this is just pretty interesting. So this is more like it. I would like to know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. It's an amazing tool. I have fun playing with it, and probably if the developers are watching, this is an amazing tool and I love what you guys have done with it. Tell me what you guys think about it in the comment section, and of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And if you're new here, it's going to be amazing for you to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or the next update. And until I see you guys again with a tutorial update, Free Friday, Tutorial Tuesday, tips and tricks, things like this. Peace.